Hey guys, Chris here from Carolot Farm. It's been a while. I'm not gonna lie. I have not been out here to the garden since back before Fern, which was probably 4 weeks ago. Fern came a little over 3 weeks ago, and I know it was a few days prior to that when I was last out here. I covered my cauliflower with buckets to help protect it from the super cold that we experienced post heavy sleet storm. And I'm curious to see if I have any life left in any of those plants. And then I also have some cabbages, so who knows? Let's see what we find. Everything was so covered with ice that I really had to wait for this significant melting before I could even start to try and lift my frost blankets. But I think today is the day. Even around the cabbage here, there's very little ice remaining, and so I should be able to pull the blankets up. It's not pretty. We put all of these boards on top to try and help really protect the plants underneath and to keep the cloth from collapsing. I think we've done just that, but I don't know if anything is still living underneath. That's the big question. Where to begin? I think I most want to see how the cauliflower did. So I'm going to start by removing the cloth off of my hoops, and then we'll have to get in under the netting and move the buckets. It's a production, but let's see what we've got. Another reason I really want to get in and under these cloths today is it's a beautiful, warm, sunny day. Yesterday was approaching 60, today is every bit of 60, and tomorrow is going to be another really warm day. So no better time than now to provide some warm sunshine should there be crops still living. I am finding that at the back of my garden bed, I have a huge hunk of ice. This is kind of on the north end, and so it hasn't received as much sunlight. This area is really frozen, and I'm not able to get the cloth lifted on the end. However, I think if I am successful at lifting the far side, as I was the side behind me, I can then peel the cloth back from the front. Where's the front? From the front, I can peel it all the way back here and then still provide all of that warm sunshine. So let's see if we have success on the far side, because this end, without a shovel, it's not gonna budge. We were able to remove those few boards off of this far side as well. And so I think with not a whole lot of work, we can peel this cloth back. This has been quite a funny winter to first try our hand at winter gardening. We've had more snow, more ice, more cold weather than we usually have here in Central Virginia. So it's been a very interesting first go. Success. You can see these were the really sad broccoli plants that didn't fare so well earlier in the first part of the winter. We harvested all those greens, and there's a little bit of life in those plants. I don't know why I haven't pulled them up, but I haven't yet. They're still living, and we'll see what they do in a few weeks' time. But behind me here, under the buckets, these are the cauliflower plants, and I have no idea if they've survived. We had weeks where the nights kept getting down into like single digits. It was so cold. So they've been under buckets and under the frost cloth, which were kind of two warming steps we took, but I have no idea what we're gonna find. It's a mystery. It looks like I originally covered about 9 cauliflower plants. So let's turn over our buckets and see what we have. I think I see a little bit of green sticking out. Yeah, there's a little bit of green. So there's hope. There's hope, guys. We have 9 plants under 9 buckets. Let's see what we've got. Let's see what's behind bucket number 1. Oh, look at that. All kinds of green cauliflower plant. Fantastic. I mean, no real heads, but that is where a little head could begin to think about growing in the coming weeks. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Bucket number 2. Okay, guys, I am thinking that my cauliflower plants, by and large, will have survived. This plant here, you know, there are a few leaves that don't look great. I can just pop those off, but By and large, the plant looks pretty good. And again, there is a possible sign of a center forming. Guys, we are 9 for 9. All of my cauliflower plants made it. The last month has been so cold. I just thought for sure they were complete goners, but I can't believe it. I am so impressed. Do I think that they will actually produce cauliflower heads this spring? The verdict is still out, but the fact that these plants survived, Fern and everything that followed, that is pretty impressive. I'm just so excited. Look at those cauliflower plants. They all made it. The big ones, the little ones. They actually look better than when I covered them, believe it or not. I do think they're warm enough. The soil is nice and damp, so they had plenty of moisture, and they have actually thrived in the last month. I'm still scratching my head. How can that be? How can these plants that were really struggling earlier in the year, they got a late start when we planted them. We started them from seed back in August, I think. How can it be, though, that they survived and thrived? They didn't only survive, they thrived. And that is just so mind-boggling. You know, it was so cold. These plants did not look this good when I covered them a month ago. They were smaller. They were just looking really sappy. I didn't know if they were going to make it. And here they are, looking all the better a month later. Who would have thunk it? So now let's move these boards, uncover these cabbages, and see what we have here. I'm feeling a little bit better. I've got some high hopes for these cabbages. What I have learned from past experience is you don't want to pull on your frost blanket if it is frozen or even just frosted to a board or something else, because that can rip your blanket. So this corner here that is still buried under a little bit of that frozen icy stuff, I'm gonna leave. Luckily, I was able to remove all of the boards on this back side behind me. So I think we can kind of peel the cloth back and see what we've got. I'm already seeing some good signs though. I see a nice healthy green under there. Now, will anything be big enough to harvest? Probably not. But with a few more sunny days and some warm weather, hopefully we will have more late winter, early spring cabbages. So, you know, again, they don't look fantastic, but they survived. We have a few small cabbage heads that I think we could probably harvest in a few more days to weeks. They're not going to get a whole lot larger. There's just not a lot of energy that's gone into the plant. They've done their very best just to survive. So we'll get a little nibble here and there from the cabbage plants, and then before long, it'll be time to think about putting our spring crops in. We've already started them in the house, and we'll keep you posted on how they do, but it's just now the middle of February, and so these guys will have a few more weeks, and then we'll have to kind of reevaluate and see if it's time to pull them or not. But it's been fun. It's been quite an experience. There's one more little surprise that made me chuckle here in the garden. I'm gonna have to turn my camera around, but there is something right here beside me that I want to show you. Do you see that little teeny broccoli head there? Isn't that the silliest thing? It survived the crazy winter, and here it is trying to form a little teeny head. So silly. My little cat here loves the garden. This is his favorite spot. He knows it's warm, and throughout the heart of that storm, he actually took shelter here in with the broccoli underneath the frost blanket. I would see him run in and out of here constantly, but he has definitely made the garden his preferred home. It would be really sad if we lost our plants at this point. They worked so hard to make it through that cold spell, and they did. You know, everything pulled through. So the last thing I have to do today before the sun goes down is come back, put my frost blankets over my hoops, and over my cabbage planter, and then Shrimp here will also have his roof, which will make him very happy tonight. So that is a very important step when gardening in cold weather. Thank you so much for joining me today here in the garden. You know, this is our late winter garden. It's not the most impressive, but it has been quite the winter, and I'm still pretty darn impressed with our plants and the fact that they survived Winter Storm Fern and all of the super, super cold temperatures, like single digits. We saw 0 one morning on our thermometer. It was so, so cold for so long, and everything survived. I mean, the cabbage is hanging in there. The cauliflower was really the surprise. I think the cauliflower looks better post the last month than before. And then there was that silly, silly head of broccoli that, again, it's nothing more than a stalk, but it has that itty bitty head on it. So just lots of fun surprises here in the garden. And like I told you, it is soon going to be time to put our spring plants in just a few more weeks' time. So, you know, check back soon. We'll have more updates, and happy gardening. Bye, guys.